Hello everyone, and thanks for joining me on another video today. So it's getting towards the very end of autumn. It's probably closer to winter, you could say, and a lot of the trees which had the nice autumn colour are starting to lose their leaves. But like all photographers, I'm out still clinging in hope that I find that special tree that's still got all its colour in its leaves and still got plenty of leaves on the actual tree itself. So I'm out to the woodland today. I thought there would be some mist, but it's not materialised, unfortunately, but the conditions are okay. And there's lots of nice colour still around. I've actually found a tree just behind me which has still got plenty colourful leaves on it, so that's what I'm taking a photograph of at the moment. So I've got the camera positioned just here, and I'm trying to capture this scene behind me at its best, or try and get an image in which I think it looks its best. What I'm trying to do is position these nice colourful ferns at the bottom left of the image, and then the nice golden colours, the golden brown colours of the tree at the top right. And then we've got some trees on the left as well. There's some fallen autumn leaves amongst the ferns, and there's some fallen autumn leaves on the ground as well. So quite a nice image, I think. There's not a lot of light today at the moment. It's quite overcast, but we may get some blinks of sunlight at some point throughout the day, but I'm quite pleased with the actual lighting at the moment for this scene just behind me. So if there's one thing that landscape photography teaches you, it's that you should never trust a weather forecast. It was a really nice forecast for today, potentially some mist, but clearing to be bright and sunny and a very nice cold winter's day, but that's really not what it's been. However, I can't really complain because it's made for some quite atmospheric conditions, and I've spotted a tree off in the distance here which is looking quite atmospheric with the rain that's falling. It looks quite misty, quite rainy. As always with woodland photography, composition can be quite challenging. There's no real way I can get a nice clean shot of that tree and make it look good in an image. I'm really forced to take in some of the surroundings. So what I'm about to concentrate on here is trying to get into the correct position. I'm forced to include some of the surrounding trees, and I'm going to look at that as a positive because they could provide some nice framing and some nice complementary shapes. So I'm going to get set up here, try and get the composition to work as best I can, and I'll show you what I come up with. So I'm standing here in the pouring rain. I've made my way down a very treacherous slope. I've ended up on my back once. You've always got to be careful doing this sort of thing. But I think it's going to be worth it for the image I'm going to capture behind me here. I've moved into what I think is the best position in terms of composition to try and capture this tree in this very rainy atmospheric day. So I've got the tree at the top left of the image, and then I've decided to include this one at the bottom right. I really like how the rain is very noticeable over the tree branches here. And then sort of positioned in the middle between them, there's like just a bare dead tree in the centre, and we've got like a stretch of grass going up between these two trees which leads off to that in the distance. And then off in the background you can see the very wet, rainy conditions. So quite a lot of atmosphere, I hope, in this image, and one which really tells a story of the conditions and how it's turned out today. So the conditions are even worse now. I've moved on a little bit, but I'm not complaining again because I think the conditions really suit my subject of this image. So again, I'm in quite a tricky spot. Everything is absolutely soaking wet now, so this is going to be my last shot today. But I was drawn to this tree behind me here, and with the very wet, rainy conditions, it just looks fantastic. We've got signs of the wetness on the foliage around the tree and on the tree itself. And then up at the top right of my composition, I'm deliberately including the sky because it's so muted and atmospheric and almost misty in appearance today with the heavy rain. And generally the top right area of the tree has been catching the light, so I kind of like how it leads you up to that very rainy, misty conditions at the top right of the image. There's also some nice moss on the tree as well, which is just giving it some splashes of colour. But I think my camera's had enough for one day. It is absolutely drenched. I'm probably more wet than my camera is, but it's been very enjoyable all the same, and I think I've captured some quite nice images in these moody atmospheric conditions, so it was worth getting some rain on myself and my gear just to capture a few nice images. But as always, I hope you've enjoyed watching. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to get packed up and head off, and I'll hopefully see you in my next video.